take leave. Thank you once more, Excellency, for joining us. We now call on His Excellency, Mr. Timioko Melit Kone, the Vice President of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, to take leave. Thank you very much, Excellency. We call on His Excellency, Mr. Slamba Tsongwane, the Vice President of the Republic of Botswana, to take leave. Rilebogile Khumenegane. We now call on His Excellency, retired Major General Jessica Alupo, the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, to take leave. We now call on Her Excellency Ms. Baleka Mbete, the former Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa and spouse, to take leave. Enkosi kakhulu sisomdala. We now call on Her Excellency Dr. Phumzile Mlambo Ngcuka, our former Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, to take leave. Enkosi kakhulu sisomdala. We now call upon His Excellency Gachagua, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, to take leave. Thank you very much, Excellency, for gracing our occasion. We call upon Lieutenant General Jevas Dirakobusha, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Burundi. Thank you very much, Excellency, for gracing our occasion. We call on His Excellency Mr. Nsei Christian, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Madagascar. Thank you very much, Excellency, for gracing our occasion. We now call upon His Excellency Mr. Olusegun Obasanjo, the former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to take leave. Thank you very much, Excellency, for gracing our occasion. We now call on His Excellency Mr. Hamad Ahmadi, the former Prime Minister of the Union of Comoros, to take leave. Thank you very much, Excellency. We call on His Excellency Mr. John Patrick Amama Mbabazi, the former Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, to take leave. Thank you very much, Excellency. We now call on His Excellency Mr. Raila Amolo Odinga, the former Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, to take leave. Thank you very much, Excellency. We now call on Mrs. Gracia Machel to take leave. Thank you very much, Mama, for gracing this occasion. We now call on Mrs. Marike Titlek to take leave. Thank you very much, Mrs. de Klerk, for gracing this occasion. We now call on heads of delegations to take leave. Thank you very much for gracing this occasion.
Are you there? South Africa, are you there? Are you ready for President Ramaphosa? Viva, viva, President Ramaphosa, viva! Repilele, President Ramaphosa, repilele! Welcome, Mr. President, straight from the box, our brand new president that we have just installed now. We're going to request that the president must just say hi and greet you. Mr. President.
Amanda! Amanda! Forward with South Africa, forward! Forward with South Africa, forward! Dumela! Demasia! Abshe, Sanbonani, Molweni, Kitabida Hulu, Molibona Kaufela, Kifeza Hubewa, Jeka President Walula, Kiale Lebewa, no Teva Tupapano, South Africa. Today, we are opening a new chapter in the life of our country. We are going to have a government of national unity where we are going to work together, united, so that we can advance your interests. Let us not be afraid of what this government of national unity is going to be all about. We want to create jobs. We are going to get everyone in the government of national unity to work to create jobs. I am going to make sure that that happens. All of us must be united in working together. Kaubani, Batubaruna, Abafa political party, a one majority. Ngabe, Bafile political party, a one majority. Hone Otlaba Hosa Mineha, Katsila E. Yano, Hominahezi. La Hominahezi, Hotangana Tangana. Refalori Panda. Na orali na habisiritan ifanela kuriya mashwe aikelele aha andaku ya mashwe. We must move forward because that is how our people voted, and because the majority of our people did not choose one party It means that we have to work with those who want to work with us. Babang batsamaela ka thoko, ababa tu shumisana le babang. Yanong reri, baba tang shumisana le rena, are tsweleng pele. As long as go shumisana ha rena e tlo ba go aga mesebetsi. Ke yona ntho e re shebileng. Re aga mesebetsi, batho ba shume, batho ba wane mishumo, di zezo zwine ra khou zwi ṱoḓa, ngauri batho vanzhi a vha khou shuma sa zwino. Vanhu vo tala a va na mintirho. Hina hi langute ku ri vanhu va kuma mintirho. Hi tshika leswi swa ku lwa aswitarateni, hi aka mintirho. Hi ku hi swona sweswo swi laviwako hi vanhu va hina. Abantu bethu bafuna into enye, ukuthi impilo zabo ziqhubeke, bathole imisebenzi, bakwazi ukuthi bona nemindeni yabo bathole impilo enhle. Yilokho esizakwenza uma sisebenza sonke. Abantu baseNingizimu Afrika, imessage abasinike yona bathi sebenzani kunye niyenze ukuthi impilo zethu zibe ngcono. Kunalabo ke abadonsela ngaseceleni, abangafuni ukuthi sisebenzisane, and abanye bafuna nokuletha udlame, i-violence. Manje sithi ngeke sibavumele, senza sure asibavumeli, ngoba abantu bethu batho ba rona ba rata kgotso, ba toda gore re shumisane, ro farana zwanda, re batho bathihi, re khou ya phanḓa. Ndi hezwi zwine batho bashu vha khou zwi ṱoḓa. So ri 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 ḓo kuvhangana roṱhe ra shumisana. Havho vhane vha ḓovha vha sa funi u shumisana na rine, ri ḓo vha swaela nga thungo, rine ri ya phanḓa. All we want is progress to advance the lives of South Africans. That's the main issue that I am going to focus on. If you want to work with me to create jobs, then you are my friend. If you don't want to work with me, then you are not my friend. If you don't want to create jobs for our people. So nalabo abaku government of national unity, uma bazoganga bangasebenzi kunye nathi, sizawubakhipha bazohamba nabo, ngoba thina sifuna nje abantu abazofuna ukuthi kube nentuthuko, abantu bakithi baqhubeke baye phambili. So ngithi ke kulolu suku masi amkeleni ukuthi sebenze kunye. Kule insuku ezizayo ngizawakha i-cabinet ezowenza umsebenzi wenu. So ngithi watch this space. Nizawubona ke amandla. Ngiyabonga, nisale kahle nihambe kahle.
President Ramaphosa, rata President Ramaphosa, re a o rata. Ripilele President Ramaphosa, ripilele. Viva, 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 viva. President Ramaphosa, viva. Thank you very much.
Let's move. She's not there.
You think we should move?
Yeah.
So, should I announce the anthem or
Yeah.
will you?
You announce it.
Please proceed.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Chief of the South African National Defence Force, General Ruzani Maphanya, PS, SM, MMM, MMB, a hearty word of welcome to this military inauguration ceremony for the President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa. The following military protocol is brought to your attention. During the playing of the national anthem, all spectators are required to stand. Members in uniform are required to salute, and civilian male spectators are required to remove their headdress. On completion of the national anthem, you may take your seats. This will be followed by the keynote address by the President of the Republic of South Africa. On completion of the address, the mass fly past will commence. Commentary will be provided during the mass fly past, and on completion of the fly past, the final compliment will then be awarded to the President of the Republic of South Africa. Thank you.
Afrika Dzonga yi fambe gondzo ro leha ku ya eka ntshunxeko. Gondzo lera ri talele hi misasani na swigodo swa mondzo. Kambe varhangeri va hina va vurhena ni ntiyiso va fika va hlahla, va hlakula, va khurhela. Hikokwalaho namuntlha hi tiba swifuva hi tlangela 30 wa malembe ya ntshunxeko, 30 wa malembe ya xidemokirasi, 30 wa malembe yo kondletela vun'we eka rixaka reru. Yes, we celebrate 30 years of unbroken spirits, 30 years of bravery and hope, 30 years of resilience in the face of adversity, 30 years of forging forward, 30 years of embracing the light while dancing in the shadows of the past, 30 years of wounded scars but healing from social divisions and economic injustice, 30 years of collaborations, 30 years of partnerships and growth, 30 years of great excellence. Namuntlha hi hlanganile eka yindlukulu ya Afrika Dzonga ku ta hi President Cyril Ramaphosa. Ndzi ri halala eka wena nhenha ya tinhenha, ku vangama ka wena ri halala eka wena nhenha ya tinhenha, ku vangama ka wena ka hlamarisa, u vangama ku kota swirimela, u vangama bya miseve ya dyambu, vangama u vangamela Afrika Dzonga. Ndzi ri halala eka wena nhenha ya tinhenha, wena mukhomi wa nanga mubiwa xinari dlozi ra madzolonga ri pfuluka, wena murhangeri wa vurhena ni ntiyiso, makomba ndlela leyinene, masusa ndlala, wa ndleka vusiku ni nhlekani, ndzi ri ndlandlamuka hi laha ku nga heriki, kula u ringana na ndlopfu. Halala President, halala! Halala President, halala! Gondzo leri u ri fameke a ri vanga ro olova, u lalukile mahlaluko, u lwile ni swihendli ni swikokovi, kambe u yima u ku dziri bya ntshava ya mayima yo xema rhwala golidi yi dzenengela, u lota mabanga ya miehleketo ya kariha byo tlhela wa fezi. Hi rhangele wena President, voningela tiko ra wena u hi nyika ntshembo eka vantshwa. Loko a ri mina ntombi ya mutsonga n'waxambilama ku twa madyafula ri la tsundzuka n'wana hi ku heta, ndzi ku tlhavela ntsolo ehansi, ndzi ba mandla, ndzi vuyelela, ndzi ku ndza ku losa. Halala President, halala! Teka Afrika Dzonga u yi veka emanembenembeni. Afrika Dzonga, South Africa, South Africa, Afrika Burwa, Afrika Chipembe, iningizimu Africa, the birthplace of human cultures, cultures of Banaba Malo Wasibilo, cultures of humble people, cultures of resilient warriors, abantu basezulwini, amabutoga Zulu, cultures of strong people, bavenda babika na ive, ibila bibaba venda basare. Oh, cultures of Banabantari etu. Amilosa President, hirangeleni, shikwembu shimi enda hitinchalo. Halala Cyril Ramaphosa, halala. Kula President, kula. Landamuka President, landamuka.
Is the anthem after or is it?
It's at the same time. Yeah. How long?
Okay, so you don't have a time over target.
I'm just going to continue.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. All members in uniform are required to salute, and civilian male spectators are required to remove their headdress.
How many minutes? 2.5 minutes, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
Excellencies, Majesties, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure and privilege to invite the President of the Republic of South Africa to address us. Mr. President, Makgofi ba gaetsho, emellang ba gaetsho,
Thank you. Let us be seated, please. Program directors, Your Majesties, our kings and queens, Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, former President Thabo Mbeki and Mrs. Mbeki, former President Kgalema Motlanthe and Mrs. Motlanthe, former Deputy President David Mabuza, former Deputy President Baleka Mbete, former President Phumzile Mlambo Ngcuka, all former heads of state and government assembled here, distinguished representatives of representative countries and all international organizations, the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, the Chairperson and Deputy Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, the Chief Justice of the Republic of South Africa, and members of the judiciary, premiers, MECs, and mayors, members of parliament, leaders of political parties, religious and traditional leaders, ambassadors, and high commissioners, veterans of our struggle, distinguished guests, members of the military command, General Ruzani Mapwanya, General Fani Masemola, the Commissioner of Police, fellow South Africans. Today we gather under the vast, high-felt accompanied by our honored guests, heads of state and government from various parts of our continent and from far afield from a number of countries, to observe a fundamental right of our democracy. In our brilliant diversity as South Africans, we gather to affirm our solemn conviction that this country belongs to all who live in it, as articulated in the Freedom Charter almost 70 years ago. We gather here as the people born of the same soil across our 9 provinces that make up our unitary South Africa, determined that by our deeds we shall heal the divisions of our past and overcome the ongoing inequalities and hardships of the present. We declare to all to know that neither discord nor dissent shall cause us to cast aside that which calls us to build a united, free, just, equal, and prosperous nation. On this day, we assert by solemn oath the will of the people of this country. We affirm our unwavering fidelity to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, which is based on the enduring vision that sets out the values inscribed in the Freedom Charter. As the leadership of this diverse nation, we have a sacred duty to unite the people of South Africa. We affirm that history has placed on our shoulders the responsibility to transform our country into a non-racial and non-sexist and prosperous society. We affirm our determination to build a more equal and caring society. Yes, we do affirm our resolute quest to build a growing and inclusive economy that creates jobs, offers opportunities and livelihoods to all our people. We rededicate ourselves to the task of democratic renewal and social and economic transformation so that no one feels and is left behind. And so, as we enter another era in the life of our nation, the resilience of our democracy has once more been tested, and the people have spoken loudly that they choose peace and democracy over conflict, violence, undemocratic and unconstitutional methods. In their multitudes, in their voices that are many and diverse, the people of South Africa have voted and have made known their wishes, their concerns, and their aspirations. We accept and respect the results of the elections, and once again we say, yes, the people of South Africa have spoken, and we accept. Their will shall be done without any doubt or any question. The voters of South Africa did not give any single political party the full mandate to govern our country alone. They have directed us to work together to address their plight and realize their aspirations. They have expressed their appreciation of the progress in many areas of their lives over the past 30 years of democracy. They have also been unequivocal in expressing their disappointment and disapproval of our performance in some of the areas in which we have failed them. They want a transformed, growing, and inclusive economy that creates jobs for millions of job seekers and offer business opportunities to entrepreneurs in our nation, women, men, young and old. The people have been clear about what they want. They want a South Africa in which all may find shelter in our democratic constitution and may find protection in our courts. They have described a country in which all may rise above the circumstances of their birth, nurtured by loving families, aided by a caring state, and empowered by initiative, will, and hard work. Through their votes, they have made clear that they want the basic necessities of a life that is comfortable, happy, healthy, and secure. Through their votes, they asserted that they want enough food to eat, water that is clean, affordable electricity that is available at all times. They want decent homes that keep out the wind, the rain, and the cold. They want well-maintained roads and street lights that work. The people of South Africa have asked no more than to be properly cared for when they are sick. They want the young people of our country to be taught well, for the elderly to be cared for, and for those without work to work. The people of South Africa have spoken about the land they want to farm, about the businesses they want to run, about the things and products they want to make, about the skills they want to learn. They have spoken of their desire to be safe in their homes, on the streets, in their cities, in their villages, and on their farms. The people have demanded an end to the theft of public funds and the capture of the state. Above all, the people of South Africa have stressed that they are impatient with political bickering and the endless blame game amongst politicians and political parties. They want us to put their needs and aspirations first, and they want us to work together for the sake of our country. Today, I stand before you as your humble servant to say that we have heard you. As the President of the Republic of South Africa, I will work with everyone to reach out and work with every political party and sector that is willing to contribute to finding solutions to the challenges our country faces as we transition to a new decade of freedom. 30 years have passed since we turned our back on racial tyranny and embraced an open and democratic society. We've made great strides in building a new society that is founded on strong democratic institutions and universal freedoms. We have built a transformed public service, an independent judiciary, a competitive electoral system, a sophisticated economy, a vibrant and free media, and a robust civil society. And yet, despite this progress, our society remains deeply unequal and highly polarized. There are toxic cleavages of an incipient social fragmentation that can only turn into instability. The lines drawn by our history and our past between black and white, between men and women, between suburbs and townships, between urban and rural, between the wealthy and the poor, remain still deeply etched in our landscape. In places, these lines may have faded, but they have not disappeared. We are citizens of one country, and yet we occupy different worlds, separated by high walls and great distances. We are divided between those who have jobs and those who do not work, between those who have the means to build and enjoy a comfortable life and those who do not. And so today, my fellow South Africans, is no ordinary day. It is a moment of fundamental consequence in the life of our nation. It is a moment when we must choose to either move forward together or risk losing all we have built. In this moment, we must choose to move forward, to close the distances between South Africans and to build a more equal society, to translate the promise of our Constitution and the vision of the Freedom Charter into a reality for all. This moment requires extraordinary courage and leadership. It requires a common mission to safeguard national unity, peace, stability, inclusive economic growth, non-racialism, and non-sexism. Through the ballots that they have cast, the people of South Africa have made plain their expectation that the leaders of our country should work together. They have directed their representatives to put aside animosity and dissent, to abandon narrow interests, and to pursue together only that which benefits the nation. As leaders, as political parties, we are called upon to work in partnership towards a growing economy, better jobs, safer communities, and a government that works for all the people of South Africa. From across the political spectrum, parties have answered this call, understanding that no party can govern alone and make laws alone. These parties have agreed to work in partnership to employ their talents for the good of the country and the progress of the people of South Africa. Together, they have resolved to establish a government of national unity to pursue a common program of fundamental and lasting change. The formation of a government of national unity is a moment of profound significance. It is the beginning of a new era. As the leaders of this country came together in a government of national unity 30 years ago to forge a common future and build a united nation, the parties in the government of national unity of today have agreed to work together to address the most pressing challenges before our nation. The parties have adopted a statement of intent in which they have committed to pursue rapid, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, to create more of a just society by tackling poverty, to safeguard the rights of workers, to stabilize government and build state capacity. The parties have made a commitment to invest in South Africa's people through quality education and healthcare, to address crime and corruption together, to strengthen social cohesion and build a united nation together, and to pursue a foreign policy based on human rights, solidarity, and peace. As South Africans, we must each do what we can to achieve this mission, wherever we are, whether we are in business, in labor, in civil society. This moment calls on all of us to work together and join hands. We will seek, as we move forward, to consolidate this working together through convening a national dialogue which should bring all South Africans through their various formations together so that we can chart a way forward to forge a social compact to realize the aspirations of our national development plan. As individuals, as families, as communities, and in our many formations, let us draw on our every strength to turn our dream for a better South Africa into reality. Even as we are united in our diversity, we are a people of deep and abiding faith. We pray for our nation, as our religious leaders just did, for our spirits to be lifted, for our fortunes to be restored. We owe this noble mission our courage. We must be brave and we must be bold. This is a new tide that heralds progress, transformation, and deep fundamental change. We look to this rising tide with optimism and hope. We must reject every attempt to divide or distract us, to sow doubt and cynicism, or to turn us against one another. Those who seek to stand in our way, those who seek to inflame tensions in our country, will not succeed because South Africans are resolute. Those who seek to undermine our institutions will fail because democracy lives in the hearts of all our people and shall never be dislodged. Nothing will distract us from serving the people and advancing their interests. Now is the time to move forward. Together, we will and we can do more and better as South Africans. Now is the time to assemble all our capabilities and to direct all our energies to answer the call of the people of South Africa. We dare not linger. We dare not rest until we have created jobs for those who need them, until there is enough food on every table, until every person in every town, city, village, or farm receives the basic services they need for a decent life. We dare not rest until the women of South Africa are free from the social and cultural and economic constraints that hold back their progress. We cannot rest until the young people of our country get jobs and can see progress in their own lives. We cannot rest until criminals are off our streets and the drugs are out of our communities. Until men no longer perpetrate violence against women and children. Until those who steal from the people are held accountable. We dare not rest while our communities are ravaged by flood, fire, and drought. Together, we will confront the threat of a rapidly warming planet. We will accept our responsibility to respond to climate change in a manner that is ambitious, just, and inclusive. We do this for the sake of this generation and those that will follow. We will build a government that is capable and honest. Together we will work to promote multilateralism for a fairer and more just and more equal, compassionate world, founded on solidarity and universal human rights. We will join hands with our brothers and sisters across our beloved region here in SADC, our beloved continent of Africa, to find peace, to achieve stability, to advance development through the African Continental Free Trade Area, through the construction of roads, rail lines, factories, and power stations. Africa will embark on a new age of production and commerce. Today, I make a solemn commitment to be a president for all South Africans, not of some South Africans. To defend our Constitution and to protect our democracy. To work with all those who share the dream of a better life for all. To care for the poor, the vulnerable, and to support all those who are in need. And to make our country stronger, more resilient, more equal, and more united. This is the dream that the poet Sandile Dikeni describes in his work called Love Poem for My Country. My country is for health and wealth, he says. See the blue of the sky, and beneath the jewels of fish, deep under the bowels of soil. Hear the golden voice of a miner's praise for my country. My country is for unity. Feel the millions. See their passion. Their hands are joined together, and there is hope in their eyes. On this day, our hands are joined together. We are united as South Africans. We are full of hope. Let us carry this hope to permeate throughout our nation so that everyone can join hands to build the South Africa of our dreams. God bless South Africa and protect its people. Nkosi sikelela i-Afrika, morena buluka sichaba sa Yesu, God sien South Africa, Modzemu pathochedza Afrika Chipembe. Hosi katekisa Afrika. Chief Justice, I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, for addressing us. Once more, let us welcome our President and his address with another round of applause. Mr. President, I now invite you to observe the mass fly past.
Mr. President, may I continue? Our President, His Excellency Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. Under the command, direction and auspices of the Chief of the South African Air Force, Lieutenant General Wiseman Esimbambo, Triple MPSCJ, myself, Lieutenant Colonel Andre Vollenhoven, will be your fly past and air display commentator in honor of the presidential inauguration 2024. The complement of aircraft of the South African Air Force will form part of the flypast, and air display is represented by various squadrons around the country, serving within the borders of the South African Air Force, contained by various bases strategically located around the Republic of South Africa. These airmen and women of various ethnic backgrounds, gender, and cultures will showcase their flying skills under surveilling strength of the South African Air Force motto, "Free the Eagle." The appointed Air Force senior officer in charge of today's flypast and air display is Colonel Advocate Andrew Sehone, also known as Trumpy. The ground liaison officer responsible for the safety of the flypast and air display is Lieutenant Colonel Ronnie Mashao, assisted by the assisting GLO Major Ditau Mahano. The flypast air display heralds the inauguration of the President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, against the beautiful backdrop of 30 years of democracy of the Rainbow Nation. Furthermore, this great democratic achievement is echoed in the South African Air Force, bringing surely the parade to the open blue skies. It is the mandate of the South African Air Force as an arm of service within the South African National Defence Force to protect the Republic from air assaults or make it impossible for any opposing air force to provide attacking ground forces with air support, thereby establishing air superiority, maintaining the sovereignty of the Republic of South Africa. The South African Air Force positions itself to project effective air and space power through innovation in the theatre of operations, internal as well as external to the nation it serves. It is for these reasons, as I speak, there are committed aircraft tasked in executing combat air patrols at this very moment around the designated airspace around the Union buildings, ensuring that today's official celebration proceedings succeed without disturbance or interference. In support of these combat air patrols, it is tactical mobile radars being deployed, whose very purpose is to search, locate, and pinpoint aerial threats of any nature in order of our combat aircraft to intercept and force down. Ladies and gentlemen, let us ready ourselves for a spectacular display of air power excellence, African Air Force, as we will now continue with our mass flypast program. The second phase of flight will now commence. The flypast of all aircraft will approach from the south directly in your line of vision, just above the Telkom Tower. Inbound, the South African Air Force will so cast 8 formations flights as part of today's celebrations, which allow me to briefly introduce you in the order of flight, as you can hear before you see them. First in line will the helicopter diamond formation, executed by 4 light utility helicopters, which is 2 Augusta A109s in the lead and the rear, respectively, and the 2 Kawasaki BK117s. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to the Augusta A109 in the rear and in the lead, and the 2 BK117s. We anticipate now, second in line, another helicopter diamond formation, this time consisting of 1 Rooi Valk combat support helicopter in the lead, 2 Oryx medium utility helicopters on the wings left and right, and 1 Super Lynx 300 Mark 64 maritime helicopter in the rear. That first roar in the skies that you hear is the beautiful sound of the Rooivalk combat support helicopter in the lead, flown by Lieutenant Colonel Mutlahane, supported by 2 Oryx medium utility helicopters on the wings left and right, and in the middle, and Super Lynx 300 M64 maritime helicopter aircraft. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the Rooivalk, the BK-117, and the Super Lynx maritime patrol aircraft. Next, as part of this mass fly past inauguration towards in honor of our president, the CASA call sign Charlie 212 formation is on the approach, consisting of 1 times CASA 212 Aviocar, an aircraft that was inherited by the former TBVC states, Transkei, Botswana, Venda and Ciskei, along with the Kawasaki BK-117 that we have witnessed in Heli Formation 1, and also form part of the national flag fly past, the 3rd helicopter last. This Charlie 212 formation will be the lead aircrafter, and the pilot, Aircraft Commander Major Humpo Matebe, call sign Boss, will be accompanied and assisting him by the co-pilot, Major Mandisa Mfeka. And of course, by the name, she is a female. With a beautiful call sign of Comet, a name profound in the South African Air Force that we are proud of because she's legend in the fact that she was the first black woman fighter pilot at 85 Combat Flying School and 2 squadron, respectively, in the Limpopo province. As part of this 212 CASA formation that we await, will be the CASA, will be 5 Pilatus PC-7 Mark II basic flying training aircraft. As we know, in the South African Air Force, basic flying training starts with every pilot, and these Pilatus PC-7 Mark IIs are operated by Air Force Base Langebaanweg on the west coast of Cape Town, north of Cape Town rather. That is where all military basic flying starts for all pilots. This Pilatus MC Mark II will follow straight on the heels of the lead aircraft, the CASA 212. The aircraft commander is Major Angus Maleka, call sign Rocky. And his co-pilot is 2nd Lieutenant S.E., wait for it, Malopa. For those who know her, she's also a female pilot on the Pilatus PC-7 Mark II. Pilatus number 3 in the formation will be commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Palatse and his co-pilot, 2nd Lieutenant J.G. Venter. The Pilatus PC Mark II number 3 will be Lieutenant Molokoma and Major Chochechi. In the rear, Pilatus 4 will be commanded by Major M.A. Grobelaar and his co-pilot, 2nd Lieutenant P.B. Vuma. The aircraft commander for Pilatus number 5 in the formation, in the rear right of the lead aircraft, is Major Marule and co-pilot, 2nd Lieutenant M.E. Lebelo. Ladies and gentlemen, CASA formation. As you notice, smoke is released through the exhaust of the aircraft to add a little bit of a flair to the air display. Ladies and gentlemen, the next in the formation is the Inkwazi. For those who don't know, that's not local, it's Zulu for fish eagle. This formation is also known as the Josen formation, and inbound on this approach will consist of the Inkwazi, also commonly known as the BBJ, the business Boeing jet. This is the official transportation aircraft for the President of the Republic of South Africa. Accompanied will be a Falcon 50 on the left, a Falcon 50 on the right, and a Falcon 900 in the rear. This is a first for the South African Air Force to have 21 squadrons, VVIP squadron, in formation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the formidable, the profound 21 squadron that transports number 1 President of South Africa, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa. Whilst we await the arrival of the Top Gun, which will be very quick, as you can imagine, something of note is that earlier this year, President Cyril Ramaphosa received 2,000 flying hours in the BBJ since his first presidential inauguration in 2019, for which he has received a good gold commemoration certificate from 21 Squadron. The next in line as part of our mass flypast is the Top Gun of the South African Air Force, the Gripen and the Hawk formation. This formation consists of 2 Gripens advanced in the lead and in the rear, and the rest is the lead Gripen was flown by Lieutenant Joseph Mashaba, the officer of 2 Squadron, and in Hawk number 3, Captain Charlene Buitenhuis, female pilot. Following is another roaring giant of the skies, the South African Airways Airbus A330 passenger airliner. The A330 is flown by ex-South African Air Force pilot Captain A.T.D. Williamson. Captain Williamson has accumulated over 15,000 flying hours on the A320 and the A330 respectively. As part of the crew is Captain K. Ramakola, a female commander and captain of the South African Airways, and First Officer N. Maloko, also a female captain and airline commander. Ladies and gentlemen, things have been going quite quickly, but prepare yourself for what is to come, what we would like to call a duet, an aerial dance. And this next air display, for your enjoyment, is the penultimate air display, which will be in the form of the duet, as I explained, the aerial waltz, between 2 Kawasaki BK-117s, also aircraft that we inherited from the ex-TBVC states. They are both light utility helicopters, and it promises to be a nail-biting display. Ladies and gentlemen, as you look straight ahead to left and right of the Telkom Tower in your 12 o'clock, in the President's 6 o'clock, the 2 BK-117s in the lead, Major Oberholzer, call sign Serrano, Major B4E, call sign Beetle, number 2, Lieutenant Colonel Olivier, call sign Gizmo, and Flight Sergeant Maklawane. As they approach, they will fly what is known at the moment as a dual wing over. Beautifully executed with precision. Steep turn to the left and right. with a downward pitch as they prepare themselves and reposition for the next aerial maneuver, which is known as Humpty on the center. By the word Humpty, we can all think for ourselves to the little rhyme, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. And that's exactly what these two BK117s will perform as they approach towards your line of view. Humpty Dumpty on the center. And the beautiful BK117s in the dive. The BK117 is a multi-role, multifunctional platform. Some of its roles and functions are trooping, airborne command and control, search and rescue operations, both on land, sea and mountain rescue, VIP transportation, and of course, aerial displays, as you have witnessing. BKs approaching one another. A steep turn to the left and right. What a beautiful display of the BK117 with precision of the expert flying skills of these pilots. The BK117 is formidable not only internal but external to the Republic of South Africa. Includes assistance in flood relief, humanitarian aid and border security, combined police operations in crime prevention operations, cooperation with National Sea Rescue Institutes and also assisting in mountain rescue. Call-outs as they are also affiliated with the Mountain Rescue Clubs of South Africa. They are operated by Air Force Station Port Elizabeth in Gqeberha, 15th Squadron Charlie Flight. The BK117, as part of their aerial waltz, are now positioned for the nail-biting aerial maneuver. I will not spoil it for you. You will witness it for yourself. Inbound towards the crowd. Confirm they in your line of sight. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go! That is aerial flying tactics at its best, and we give a thanks to the BK117 commanders for what that maneuver was known as the switchblade maneuver. Our President Cyril Ramaphosa, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, as the grand finale to our mass air display this morning on this beautiful day, to conclude the flypast proceedings for this presidential inauguration, the 5 Pilatus PC Mark II basic flying training aircraft that followed the Casa 212 are inbound. The maneuver executed by the PC Mark IIs is known as the fan brake. Make sense? Beautiful. Fun fact, obviously previously smoke was also released, and this time with the different colors. Fun fact, it's a combination of dye and diesel oil that is pushed out through the exhaust of the engines. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, our President, let us put our hands together finally and give a big winter warm applause to the formidable might and air power excellence of the South African Air Force. Thank you for your participation and attentiveness. I trust you have thoroughly enjoyed the air power display, and this now concludes the South African Air Force's flying and capability demonstrations in honor of the Presidential Inauguration 2024. I thank you.
Your Majesties, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure to thank you all for joining us from all over South Africa, our continent, and the globe to witness the inauguration of His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa. You have made this a memorable day and a historic milestone in the continuing development of our democracy. We sincerely, together with my co-director, thank you for navigating us through this occasion. May we kindly request that we rise as His Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. Ramaphosa, and Dr. Motsepe take leave. The final compliments will be presented here, and I would then invite my counterpart, Minister Pando, to proceed with that portion of the program.
Thank you very much, Co-Program Director, DSG Mokonyane. The President will now receive the final compliments before we have the formal departure. Mr. President, I unfortunately ask you to pause your greetings and to return to your seat in order to receive the final compliments, which will include the national anthem. I request all our guests to remain standing for the final compliments. You to please be seated, and now my co-program director will allow the President to depart.
Mr. President and Dr. Motsepe, you are now free to greet your guests. Halala Ramaphosa, halala. Halala Ramaphosa, halala. Rephilele Ramaphosa, rephilele. Ramaphosa Ripilele. Molo, molo, molo. Dear, 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 dear.
They told us when he's greeting, the orchestra must just play. Yes.
Should we? You don't like this orchestra?
No, the orchestra was supposed to play.
Yes.
Now. National Philharmonic.
Okay. I now invite the Mzansi National Philharmonic Orchestra to render us an item as the President take leave. Honorable members of Parliament, please get seated. Honorable members of Parliament, Uti Manamela, please take your seats. The Mayor of Cape Town, please take your seats. The National Chair of the ANC, please take your seat. May we please be seated. The only person who's permitted to leave is the President.
please ask all our guests to remain seated. The only persons that will leave at this time will be as announced by the program directors. If all of us stand up, we're going to cause a stampede and confusion with respect to the transport that has been arranged. So would you please allow us to continue to direct the program so that we have an orderly conclusion to our proceedings. Our President is still greeting his guests. I'm sure that that will end in a moment. We shall then, in an orderly manner, invite the heads of state in order to leave. And please allow us to do that in a proper South African organized manner. Mr. President, I respectfully request you to depart. Your Majesties, we shall now begin to indicate the departure procedure for our distinguished heads of state and government so that they might take their leave. And we shall do this in the orderly manner in which we addressed the arrival of all our distinguished guests. And since we don't have stampedes in South Africa, this will be orderly. We therefore begin by inviting the heads of state and government to take their leave in the following order of departure. I invite the Chief Justice, Raymond Zondo, and Mrs. Zondo to move to the departure point. We thank you sincerely, Chief Justice, for your service today. We then request that the Speaker of the National Assembly take her leave, as well as Mr. Didiza. We then invite that the Speaker should be followed by the Honourable Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces. We then invite His Excellency Mr. Paul Mashatile, the former Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, and his spouse to take their leave. We then invite His Excellency, the former President of the Republic of South Africa, and his spouse, Mr. K. Motlanthe, to take their leave. We shall pause a moment to allow the cars to line up. And even in that moment, we do not stand and stampede. We then request the former President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency Mr. Thabo Mbeki, and Mrs. Zanele Mbeki to proceed to the departure point. Thank you, Your Excellency, for having joined us today. I think the Mzansi Philharmonic Orchestra can continue entertaining us with sublime notes. We now invite the former Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. David Mabuza, to take his leave. Thank you, Deputy President, for having joined us today. your seats. You're not going to leave any faster by standing. Could we request His Majesty King Mswati III, Ingwenyama of the Kingdom of Eswatini, and Her Majesty to take their leave. We thank you, Your Majesty, for having joined us today. We invite His Majesty King Letsie III of the Kingdom of Lesotho and Her Majesty to take their leave. We thank you, Your Majesties, for having joined us on this occasion. Could we invite the President of the Republic of Congo, His Excellency Mr. Denis Sassou Nguesso, to take his leave? We thank you, Your Excellency. Merci beaucoup à tous. The President of the Republic of Mozambique, His Excellency Mr. Felipe Jacinto Nyusi. Thank you, Your Excellency, for having joined us. Could we invite His Excellency, President of the Republic of Angola, Mr. João Manuel Gonçalves Lorenzo. Thank you, Your Excellency, for having joined us. Could we invite His Excellency, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, His Excellency, President Mnangagwa, to take his leave. Thank you, Your Excellency, for having joined us. Could we invite the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, His Excellency President Felix Tshisekedi, to take his leave. Thank you, Your Excellency, for having joined us. Could we invite the President of the Republic of Mauritius, President Rupen, to take his leave. Thank you once more, Your Excellency, for having joined us. For having joined us. Could we invite the President of Nigeria and current chairperson of ECOWAS, His Excellency President Tinubu, to take his leave? Thank you, Your Excellency, for having joined us. Could we invite the President of the Republic of Namibia, President Nangolo Mbumba, to also take his leave? We thank you, Your Excellency, for having joined us.
We now call on His Excellency Salvador Mesa, the Vice President of the Republic of
Let's move. Let's move. She's not there.
You think we should move?
Yeah.
So, should I announce the anthem or
Yeah.
will you?
You announce it.
Please proceed.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Chief of the South African National Defence Force, General Ruzani Maphanya, PS, SM, MMM, MMB, a hearty word of welcome to this military inauguration ceremony for the President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa. The following military protocol is brought to your attention. During the playing of the national anthem, all spectators are required to stand. Members in uniform are required to salute, and civilian male spectators are required to remove their headdress. On completion of the national anthem, you may take your seats. This will be followed by the keynote address by the President of the Republic of South Africa. On completion of the address, the mass fly past will commence. Commentary will be provided during the mass fly past, and on completion of the fly past, the final compliment will then be awarded to the President of the Republic of South Africa. Thank you.
Afrika Dzonga yi fambe gondzo ro leha ku ya eka ntshunxeko. gondzo lera ri talele hi misasani na swigodo swa mondzo kambe varhangeri va hina va vurhenani ntiyiso va fika va hlahla va hlakula va khurhela hikokwalaho namuntlha hi tiba swifuva hi tlangela 30 wa malembe ya ntshunxeko 30 wa malembe ya xidemokirasi 30 wa malembe yo kondletela vun'we eka rixaka reru. Yes, we celebrate 30 years of unbroken spirits, 30 years of bravery and hope, 30 years of resilience in the face of adversity, 30 years of forging forward, 30 years of embracing the light while dancing in the shadows of the past, 30 years of wounded scars but healing from social divisions and economic injustice, 30 years of collaborations, 30 years of partnerships and growth, 30 years of great excellence. Namuntlha hi hlanganile eka yindlukulu ya Afrika-Dzonga ku ta va President Cyril Ramaphosa. Ndzi ri halala eka wena nhenha ya tinhenha ku vangama ka wena ri halala eka wena nhenha ya tinhenha ku vangama ka wena ka hlamarisa u vangama ku kota xirimela u vangama bya miseve ya dyambu vangama u vangamela Afrika-Dzonga. Ndzi ri halala eka wena nhenha ya tinhenha wena mukhomi wa nanga mubiwa xinari dlozi ra madzolonga ri pfuluka wena murhangeri wa vurhenani ntiyisu makomba ndlela leyinene masusa ndlala wa ndleka vusiku ni nhlekani ndzi ri ndlandlamuka hi laha ku nga heriki ku laha u ringana na ndlopfu. Halala President, halala! Halala President, halala! Gondzo leri u ri fameke a ri vanga ro olova u lalukile mahlaluko u lwile ni swihendli ni swikokovi kambe u yima u ku dziri bya ntshava ya mayima yo xema rhwala golidi yi dzenengela u lota mabanga ya miehleketo ya karhi ya byo tlhela wa fezi hi rhangele wena President voningela tiko ra wena u hi nyika ntshembo eka vantshwa. Loko a ri mina ntombi ya mutsonga n'waxambilama ku twa madyafula ri la tsundzuka n'wana hi ku heta ndzi ku tlhavela ntsolo ehansi ndzi ba mandla ndzi vuyelela ndzi ku ndza ku losa. Halala President, halala! Teka Afrika-Dzonga u yi veka emanembenembeni. Afrika-Dzonga, South Africa, South Africa, Afrika Burwa, Afrika Chipembe, iningizimu Africa, the birthplace of human cultures, cultures of Banaba Malo Wasibilo, cultures of humble people, cultures of resilient warriors, abantu basezulwini, amabutoga Zulu, cultures of strong people. Vavenda vabika na ive ibila viva vavenda vasare. Oh, cultures of banabantari etu amilosa President hirangeleni xikwembu xi mi endla hi tintswalo. Halala Cyril Ramaphosa, halala! Kula President, kula! Landamuka President, landamuka!
Time over target.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the aircraft.
Is the anthem after or before?
It's at the same time. Yeah. How long?
Okay, so you don't have a time over target now. Okay.
I'm just going to continue.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. All members in uniform are required to salute, and civilian male spectators are required to remove their headdress. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
Excellencies, Majesties, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure and privilege to invite the President of the Republic of South Africa to address us. Mr. President, Makhofi Bakhayetu, Emelang Bakhayetu,
Thank you. Let us be seated, please. Program directors, Your Majesties, our kings and queens, Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, former President Thabo Mbeki and Mrs. Mbeki, former President Kgalema Motlanthe and Mrs. Motlanthe, former Deputy President David Mabuza, former Deputy President Baleka Mbete, former President Phumzile Mlambo Ngcuka, all former heads of state and government assembled here, distinguished representatives of representative countries and all international organizations, the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, the Chairperson and Deputy Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, the Chief Justice of the Republic of South Africa, and members of the judiciary, premiers, MECs, and mayors, members of parliament, leaders of political parties, religious and traditional leaders, ambassadors, and high commissioners, veterans of our struggle, distinguished guests, members of the military command, General Rudzani Maphwanya, General Fani Masemola, the Commissioner of Police, fellow South Africans. Today we gather under the vast, high-felt accompanied by our honored guests, heads of state and government from various parts of our continent and from far afield from a number of countries, to observe a fundamental right of our democracy. In our brilliant diversity as South Africans, we gather to affirm our solemn conviction that this country belongs to all who live in it, as articulated in the Freedom Charter almost 70 years ago. We gather here as the people born of the same soil across our 9 provinces that make up our unitary South Africa, determined that by our deeds we shall heal the divisions of our past and overcome the ongoing inequalities and hardships of the present. We declare to all to know that neither discord nor dissent shall cause us to cast aside that which calls us to build a united, free, just, equal, and prosperous nation. On this day, we assert by solemn oath the will of the people of this country. We affirm our unwavering fidelity to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, which is based on the enduring vision that sets out the values inscribed in the Freedom Charter. As the leadership of this diverse nation, we have a sacred duty to unite the people of South Africa. We affirm that history has placed on our shoulders the responsibility to transform our country into a non-racial and non-sexist and prosperous society. We affirm our determination to build a more equal and caring society. Yes, we do affirm our resolute quest to build a growing and inclusive economy that creates jobs, offers opportunities and livelihoods to all our people. We rededicate ourselves to the task of democratic renewal and social and economic transformation so that no one feels and is left behind. And so, as we enter another era in the life of our nation, the resilience of our democracy has once more been tested, and the people have spoken loudly that they choose peace and democracy over conflict, violence, undemocratic and unconstitutional methods. In their multitudes, in their voices that are many and diverse, the people of South Africa have voted and have made known their wishes, their concerns, and their aspirations. We accept and respect the results of the elections, and once again we say, yes, the people of South Africa have spoken, and we accept. Their will shall be done without any doubt or any question. The voters of South Africa did not give any single political party the full mandate to govern our country alone. They have directed us to work together to address their plight and realize their aspirations. They have expressed their appreciation of the progress in many areas of their lives over the past 30 years of democracy.